y no era cierto. No me vuelvas a llamar, no te voy a perdonar. No me queda más. Si tu regreso hoy sería una
When you're gone, how do you want to be remembered?
As not only as an entertainer, but as a person who cared a lot, and I gave the best that I could, and I tried to be the best role model that I possibly could, and the best person that I could. I tried to help out.
Hey friend, welcome to my channel karinealourde, where we deep dive and break down the most iconic stars through history. If you're not yet subscribed, please be sure to do so and turn on your notifications so you never miss an upload. Now let's get into this video. As you've seen in the intro, Selena was very passionate about her music, and she had a wide variety of music also, full of passion, full of bright colors, full of life, and she has become a global icon in every community. And so when she passed away, there was a lot of disrespect during her death, but a lot of people don't talk about that. Before I even get too deep into the video, where yes, I will give you guys a breakdown of who Selena was, we will talk about her impact in the fashion and beauty world. We also will get into her childhood and a few of her favorite things and her untimely death. We will talk about Yolanda Saldivar. But before we even get into that, I want to just come in swinging in this video. Let's talk about Howard Stern. Howard Stern was in the news recently because he was stating how at basketball games, the black players did not acknowledge him. They didn't say hi to him. He would be sitting next to somebody else and they would acknowledge that person but not him, and he wondered why. Maybe they don't know who I am. But a lot of people know who you are, Howard Stern. A lot of people know who you are. We know that you've done blackface before, and you've made so many ridiculous jokes that insulted different ethnicities and different cultural groups. He is known as a shock jock. He was a troll before the term troll was a lie. So he trolled a lot of people from different cultures and different religions, different groups, but he was also very disrespectful to Selena. I'm going to let you guys listen to news clips because listening to his original podcast, I know will be too difficult for you guys to listen to, but if you want to hear the full extent of what he said, you can look it up here on YouTube. A lot of the comments was hard to read also, how people got emotional. I even got emotional because I've never heard someone be so disgusting. So what you're going to listen to is just a day before her funeral, Howard Stern got on his radio station, on his podcast, and he proceeded to not only make fun of Selena, but make fun of the Latin community, but also played her music with gunshots playing in the background and even making like the accent. It was so disgusting knowing how she passed away that he did that. And his co-hosts were giggling, laughing, and they went on to just, it was pretty long. They said some disrespectful things about Mexicans, like everyone in their country are criminals, etc., and they live in cardboard boxes. It was just very disrespectful. I can't even believe my ears.
I know there have been a couple of Latin Madonnas too.
Yeah, they got the Spanish Madonnas.
And this Selena was one of them, they say.
Yeah, but there's no shortage of Madonnas.
A Mexican-American version of Madonna.
This music does absolutely nothing to me. I have no feel. It's almost like you could not have it on or have it on and my mood wouldn't change. Alvin and the Chipmunks had more soul. I'll never get this. I see this on Spanish TV all the time. Spanish people have the worst taste of music. They really do.
They don't like depth.
No, they don't like any depth. It's all like, you know, our government is corrupt.
Dance.
Let's dance to happy music. And big chubby girls in thongs, you know.
The water is dirty.
The water is dirty. Our money means nothing on the open markets in Europe.
The government is corrupt.
Let's dance and forget the people starving to death. You wait till nighttime, the dogs won't bite us when we sneak into Texas in California.
It's limbo under the border.
Our country is so bad we have to sneak out in the middle of the night. Let's dance and pretend that every human being in our country isn't corrupt. Dance. This is good music to dance around the flies and maggots that infest our country and our food system. You don't want music that makes you sad when you are dancing around your cardboard house.
and your multicolored clothes.
Yes, it's a multicolored. We like to wear multicolored clothes and dance around cardboard box houses out of refrigerator boxes from America. Our government is so corrupt, only 3 guys have money in the whole country.
At least 20,000 mourners yesterday passed by her coffin in the city convention center.
Is that right?
Yeah, they're having her funeral today.
Ah,
They're going to have a mass.
We will never hear this kind of music again.
3 of us ate her fingers. We were so hungry from the bad country we live in.
Today, Corpus Christi, a funeral mass.
Howard Stern ridiculed the memory of Selena, the Tex-American singer who was murdered. Mexican-Americans were not amused. He blasted her songs. He said, Alvin and the Chipmunks have more soul. Spanish people have the worst taste in music. They have no depth. And he used the sound of guns firing in the background.
I said nothing against this woman. I mean, about her music I did.
That's it.
I confess. I have indicated 9 billion times on the air how horrible this is. As you were doing this story, I mean, it's obvious it's a tragedy.
Yeah, that was Howard Stern today, but yesterday he played some of Selena's music with the sound of gunshots in the background. Stern's words angered Selena's many fans in Texas, where she was shot and killed last Friday.
You know, for the Hispanic, community, it's a very sad thing. We lost a woman who means, dearly to us. We're kind of, hurt, and we just feel that, Howard Stern, needs to kind of cool it down sometimes when it comes to death or any other, stuff like that.
It may have been one of the most vocal protests against the shock jock, as hundreds of Mexican Americans called for Howard Stern's resignation over what they are calling racist remarks about the death of popular Tex-Mex star Selena and Hispanics in general.
He says what he thinks about us, and it's not true, but he should not be talking about us like that.
After you heard this, of course the Mexican people did rally behind Selena, but what got me, which we're going to talk about later on in this video, we are going to circle back to this whole Howard Stern situation as well as some other disrespectful reactions. But I've never really heard, when you talk about the legacy of Selena, people talk about these disgusting reactions enough. Even in the Netflix specials and her movies, they never show you some of this disrespect, because just like we can highlight her life and all the good she's done, let's highlight some of this bigotry also, so we can prevent these things from happening in the future. We can never forget something like this, And why I'm upset is because this was a 23-year-old young lady. Do you know how young 23 years old is? If you're older than 23 and you're watching this, you know how young 23 was. When you were 23, you were just a kid. You know how little this was still a kid. Married or not, she was only 23, and her body wasn't even in the grave yet. And this is how he proceeded to move with his actions. So we're going to talk about this, and I just wanted to get you guys a little fired up before we even get into it, so it can kind of make sense as you watch the video why I'm talking the way I'm talking. But according to many people of that time, Selena wasn't as popular as she was after she passed away while she was living. So a lot of people didn't know who she was, including many people in the white America. To them, it was Madonna, And he said that a lot in his podcast, Howard Stern, that Selena was just a Madonna. They had a Madonna everywhere. And this is why I say don't compare starlets to like, oh, this is the next Beyonce, or this is the next. Don't compare people, just let people be who they are, because it's so disrespectful. Even after her death, people were doing that. But for those who may not be too familiar with who Selena is, because she is a Latin symbol, but she is also an American symbol in pop culture, because she was from Texas and she was immersed in the American culture. So here in America, she is a big deal, and she is a big deal in the Latin community, but not everybody is from America. So Selena Quintanilla Perez was a Mexican-American singer, songwriter, and fashion designer who rose to fame in the early 1990s. Selena started singing at a young age, and by her late teens, she had become a household name in the Tejano music scene. She was known for her exceptional voice, vibrant personality, and unique fashion sense. Selena was called the Queen of Tejano music because of her contributions to the genre. Tejano music is a fusion of traditional Mexican music with polka, jazz, and other genres. Selena's music was predominantly in Spanish and was loved by both Latinos and non-Latinos alike. She was the first female Tejano artist to win a Grammy Award for her album Live in 1994. Her songs such as Como la Flor and Bidi Bidi Bam Bam continue to be loved by audiences all over the world. Selena's impact on fashion was also significant. She designed most of her stage outfits, which were known for their bold and colorful designs. Her style was a fusion of her Mexican heritage and American pop culture, which created a unique and eye-catching look. Her signature look consisted of high-waisted pants, bustiers, and oversized hoop earrings. Many people, including celebrities, have tried to emulate her style over the years, which is a testament to her lasting influence. Selena was also an advocate for the Latin community. She was passionate about helping those in need and used her voice to raise awareness for important causes. She was a role model for young Latinos and encouraged them to chase their dreams regardless of their background or any barriers they may face. She also started her own charity, the Selena Foundation, Foundation, which provided scholarships to students in need, and she was a big advocate for kids to stay in school, especially because she didn't get to finish school. And she also was an advocate for the DARE program, which encouraged young kids in America to be abstained from substance use. Selena's influence on hair, makeup, and music culture has been immense. Her signature makeup look was a red lip, bold brows, and cat eye. Many makeup artists have recreated this look over the years, and it has become a timeless classic. Her hairstyle, which was a long black mane with bangs, has also been emulated by many. In terms of music culture, Selena helped pave the way for other Latinx artists to break into the mainstream music industry. Selena received many awards and honors during her career. She won a total of 6 Tejano Music Awards, a Grammy Award, and was inducted into the Billboard Latin Music Hall of Fame. Her album Dreaming of You, which was released after her death in 1995, sold over 4 million copies worldwide. Selena's legacy continues to inspire new generations of Latinx artists and fans. Selena was always conscious of what she ate, finding ways to incorporate healthy and nutritious food into her meals. She loved point with bold lipstick shades and dramatic eyes. Selena's favorite lip color was the now discontinued Brick from Chanel. And despite her popularity and adoration by many fans, Selena did receive backlash for her revealing clothes and performances as a role model for the youth. However, she was always true to herself and took ownership of her style and persona. She was a trailblazer and paved the way for Latinx artists today. A couple of her favorite things: Selena's favorite flowers were long-stemmed white roses, and she had 5 dogs and a python. Selena's favorite colors were purple and black, so put a purple and black heart in the comments for her. One of Selena's dreams was to have her own farm. Towards the end of her life, she and Chris had purchased 10 acres of land just outside of Corpus Christi, where they planned to build a farm, raise horses, and build their own house. She had already even picked out the furniture. The one thing she wanted more than anything else outside of her career was to be a mother, so she did plan to have children and raise her children on the farm after she was done with her career and she settled down. She was just a regular girl. As a teen, Selena loved to shop at Walmart and Payless. She never refused to sign an autograph. She loved her fans, and her biggest fear was that no one would come watch her perform. And after every concert, Selena always asked her dad, "How did I do?" So she had her little insecurities like a normal person. Now let's get into her childhood. Selena Quintanilla Perez had a remarkable childhood, starting with her birth on April 16, 1971 in Lake Jackson, Texas. Her father, Abraham, was a musician himself, playing in Los Dinos, and he quickly recognized his daughter's musical abilities at the young age of 6. Selena's timing and pitch were perfect, according to her father, and he knew she was destined to become a star. Growing up, Selena was raised as a Jehovah's Witness and regularly performed with her siblings, Abraham III and Suzette, at her father's Tex-Mex restaurant, Papagayos, in Lake Jackson. Sadly, the restaurant closed due to the 1980s oil glut, and the family was forced to declare bankruptcy and temporarily move to Corpus Christi, Texas. But despite these setbacks, the Quintanilla family continued to perform everywhere they could, including street corners, weddings, quinceañeras, and fairs. They even refurbished an old bus, which they named Big Bertha, and used it to tour all over Texas. In 1984, Selena recorded her first LP record, Selena y Los Dinos, for Freddie Records. However, things weren't easy for Selena and her family. She faced setbacks in her education as her increasing popularity as a singer interfered with her schooling. Her father decided to pull her out of school in the 8th grade, which caused some controversy with her teacher, Marilyn Greer. Other teachers also expressed concerns about Selena's tired appearance due to her demanding schedule, but of course her father told them to mind their business. Despite these setbacks, Selena persevered and earned her high school diploma through the American School of Correspondence in Chicago. As Selena's career as a musician took off, she faced additional challenges because of her gender. Many Texas music venues turned her down because Selena was a woman in a male-dominated industry. Some never thought she would make it. Some promoters even told Abraham, her father, that Selena would never be successful because of these barriers. Despite these challenges, Selena never gave up on pursuing her dream. She continued to perform and eventually became a huge success, even winning a Grammy for Best Mexican American Album and being dubbed the Queen of Tejano Music. In fact, her music had a significant impact on the Hispanic community, and she remained an icon to this day. Selena had talked fondly of her childhood, remembering the love and support she received from her family. She also credited her success to their support, saying in a 1995 interview, "I'm very proud of my family, and I thank them for their support." Her music and legacy continue to inspire people to this day. Now let's talk about her and Chris Perez. Everyone knows the story of her romantic relationship with Chris Perez, who joined her band as a guitarist in 1989. Despite having a girlfriend at the time, Chris fell for Selena during a trip to Mexico with the band. They kept their feelings hidden for a while, afraid that Selena's father, Abraham, would disapprove of their relationship. However, the bond between Selena and Chris grew stronger, and they finally expressed their love for each other at a Pizza Hut restaurant. Even though the couple tried to hide their relationship, Selena's sister Suzette caught them flirting and told their father. Abraham was not pleased and fired Chris from the band, calling him a cancer in my family. He also threatened to disband the group if Selena and Chris continued their romance. But despite the disapproval of Selena's father, the couple continued their relationship in secret until they decided to elope on April 2nd, 1992. They believed that getting married would make Abraham accept their love and respect their relationship. But unfortunately, the news of their elopement was leaked to the media, and Selena's family was outraged. After some time, Abraham came to accept Chris in their marriage, taking him back into the band. However, there were still tensions between Chris and Selena's family, especially after Selena's tragic death in 1995. Now let's talk about Yolanda Saldivar. Yolanda Saldivar, who was a registered nurse and a fan, approached Selena's father about forming a fan club in San Antonio. After seeing one of Selena's concerts, the idea came to Saldivar. Saldivar's proposal was granted by her father, who agreed that a fan club would be beneficial for the brand's visibility. In 1991, Saldivar became the official leader of Selena's fan group after quickly becoming a trusted friend to the singer and her family. Selena started making and selling her own line of clothes in 1994. She opened 2 stores called Selena Etc., one in the city of Corpus Christi and the other in San Antonio. Both of them had their own beauty salons, and Selena Etc. had held 2 fashion shows by the end of 1994 to show off their clothing line. After Selena's Etc.'s second fashion show on December 3rd, 1994, the band gave a concert. She was talking with people in Monterrey, Mexico and Puerto Rico about opening more shops. Saldivar ran both boutiques after the family, Selena's family, was so pleased with how she ran the fan club. Money was coming in, etc. So they're like, hey, we can trust her. Let's have her run these shops. Hispanic Business Magazine reported that the singer earned over $5 million from these boutiques. She was ranked among the 20th wealthiest Hispanic musicians who grossed the highest income in 1993 and 1994. Amor Prohibido was Selena's 4th studio album. It came out in March 1994. The album opened at number 3 on the US Billboard Top Latin Albums chart and number 1 on the US Billboard Regional Mexican Albums chart. After reaching number 1 on the Top Latin Albums chart, the record stayed in the top 5 for the rest of the year and into early 1995. Amor Prohibido was the second Tejano record to sell over 500,000 copies by the end of the year. Before that, only La Mafia had done that. Amor Prohibido was among the best-selling US albums of 1995 and has been certified 36 times platinum by the RIAA for sales of 2.16 million albums, equivalent units in the United States. Because the record sold well, it was nominated for the 37th Grammy Award in 1995 for Best Mexican American Record. It won Record of the Year at the Tejano Music Awards in 1995 and Regional Mexican Album of the Year at the Lo Nuestro Awards in 1995. During her Amor Prohibido tour, Selena was called one of the most successful touring acts in Latin music. After Amor Prohibido's release, Selena was considered bigger than Tejano itself and broke barriers in the Latin music world. She was called the Queen of Tejano music by many media outlets. Billboard magazines ranked Amor Prohibido among the most essential Latin records of the past 50 years and included it on the list of the top 100 albums of all time. Charles Koppelman, the head of EMI, decided that Selena had reached her goals in the Spanish-speaking market at the end of 1994, and they wanted her to now become a global star and wanted her to work on an English album. He wanted to get the word out that she was a solo pop star who spoke English. Selena kept touring while EMI got Grammy Award-winning composers to work on the crossover record. By the time Selena played a record-breaking sold-out show at the Houston Astrodome in February 1995, work had already begun on her crossover album. In 1995, she had a small role in the movie Don Juan DeMarco, which stars Faye Dunaway, Marlon Brando, and Johnny Depp. With all this success, she had such a promising future. But unfortunately, there was a demon in her camp whose actions would go on to shock the world. The death of Selena was a tragic and heartbreaking event for her fans all over the world. Selena was a beloved singer and fashion icon who was known for her beautiful voice, infectious personality, and incredible talent. On March 31st, 1995, she was taken from this world far too soon when she was violently murdered by her own fan club manager, Yolanda Saldivar. Saldivar was appointed as Selena's manager in early 1994, and Selena trusted her enough to even make her the registered agent in San Antonio, Texas. However, over time, Saldivar's behavior became increasingly erratic and concerning. It was like she was telling people she's like a mom to Selena, Selena's her best friend. To get to Selena, you have to get to her first. She was just delusional. She dismissed employees she disliked. She just fired them, which caused staff members to raise concerns to Selena's family. Even Selena's father began to worry about Saldivar's behavior and warned his daughter to be careful. But Selena was just too trusting. It wasn't until January 1995 that the truth about Saldivar's actions began to emerge. Selena's father received calls from fans who said they paid for memberships in Selena's fan club but received nothing in return. Upon investigation, her father discovered that Saldivar had embezzled more than $30,000 from both the fan club and Selena's boutique via forged checks. On March 9, 1995, her father confronted Saldivar about the missing funds and banned her from having any contact with Selena. However, Selena still trusted Saldivar and wanted to keep her close because she had an important financial records needed for tax preparation. This is just a note to self. If you're an aspiring artist, if you're an aspiring actress, whatever it is, you want to be famous one day, please hire professionals. Not saying that professionals can't do these crimes either, but I'm saying don't just hire a random fan, please. People can say they love you, they can be obsessed with you, but it's a cautionary tale that the same people that support you today, that are upset with you today, can be so fickle and turn around and stab you in the back the next day. So I would never ever recommend that you hire anyone who is a fan, who is just obsessed with you, because it can become like that. Hire professionals for the business. Still be nice to your fans, sign autographs, do that, whatever, but have your boundaries also, and don't let anybody bully you into not having boundaries. Because Selena wanted her fans to love her so much. She wanted people to come see her perform. She was always worried about how she did, and she didn't want to offend anybody. I think, I didn't know her obviously, but I think she might have had that little people pleasing a little bit. Every starlet had it. She just had a pure soul and just wanted to treat everyone right. But these are the people that get taken advantage of the most. Time and time again, it has told us. Her father was more seasoned, cutthroat, and understood people in nature. He had more years here. That's why I also say, listen to your parents sometimes, if they're not toxic, of course, and listen to people who are older when they give you advice, because he saw in Saldivar who she was, but Selena unfortunately couldn't see it. He saw it though, and I only wish so much that she would have listened to her father and took heed to his instructions, because he really did want the best for his daughter, and it's just so unfortunate. And on March 31st, 1995, Selena met with Saldivar in her motel room to demand the financial papers. Unfortunately, the meeting turned violent when Saldivar pulled out a gun and shot Selena once on the right lower shoulder, and the bullet went through almost her heart, which is like, so sad, right? Because her heart is what got her here. So sad. Selena ran towards the lobby. She was a fighter till the very end, leaving a trail of blood. And before collapsing on the floor, she used her last breath to name Saldivar as the one who did this to her and gave the room number. And we are so grateful that she did that. Selena was rushed to the hospital but declared clinically brain dead and later passed away from blood loss and cardiac arrest. Doctors who were there said they did everything possible to revive her. They themselves were emotional on their testimonies, etc. But she was just gone, but she fought till the very, very end. The loss of Selena was devastating for her fans all over the world. She was a beacon of hope and inspiration, known for her beautiful music and her dedication to her fans. Her death was made all the more tragic by the fact that it was caused by someone she trusted. After the trial, Saldivar was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for 30 years. She is currently serving her sentence and is set to be released in 2025, 2 years from now. But one thing people of all color and backgrounds can bond over is their collective dislike of Yolanda Saldivar. Many people are anxiously waiting for her to be released so that they could get some street justice.
Some of Selena's fans made it clear that one way or another, justice would be done.
If they don't send her to prison, she won't be here too long. I guarantee that.
Somebody will get rid of her.
At her sentencing hearing, the prosecution argued that nothing short of life in prison was an appropriate punishment for the woman who killed Selena.
I did not kill Selena. It was an accident. And my conscience is clear.
I don't have an opinion on that. While Selena's death is still a painful memory for her fans, they continue to celebrate her music and the legacy she left behind. They make her trend on Twitter every now and then, her and Aaliyah. They don't play about them. I did a video for Aaliyah also, check that out. The death of Selena affected a lot of people. People related how people felt about her death to how they felt when John Lennon and Elvis Presley died, and when John F. Kennedy died as President of the United States. Major TV networks stopped what they were doing to tell people about the news. Tom Brokaw had called Selena the Mexican Madonna. The New York Times put her death on the front page for 2 days. In her honor, there were a lot of vigils and a lot of tributes made to her. And radio stations in Texas played her music non-stop. Many of the 60,000 people who went to her funeral came from outside of the United States, from all over the Latin community. A few days later, Howard Stern made fun of Selena's death and burial, made fun of the people who were sad about it, and talked badly about her songs. Stern said, "This music does nothing for me at all. Alvin and the Chipmunks have more soul. Spanish people don't have good taste at all. They don't go very deep," end quote. Stern's words made the Hispanic community in Texas very angry and upset. Stern's show had gunshots in the background of Selena's songs, and after a disorderly conduct arrest warrant was issued in his name, Stern said on the air in Spanish that he didn't mean for his words to cause more pain to the family and friends and those who loved her.
Me enfuerce que la vida de esta joven mujer se le fuese arrancada sin sentido.
Stern was not charged in any official way, and I thought his Spanish was terrible. Some fans thought Sears and McDonald's sponsored Stern's show, so the company sent a letter to the media saying that they didn't like what Stern said. Texas Stores took away any items that had anything to do with Stern. And you know what? Of course, there were a lot of people who supported Stern also and what he said, and you won't guess it who these people were.
Despite this protest, Stern fans remain loyal. You don't feel that some things that Howard says are inflammatory?
Oh, absolutely inflammatory. That's why he's so popular. Unfortunately, it gets some people really going.
All Howard really said was he didn't like the music. He really said nothing against Selena. He said he just didn't like the music. So, you know, if they get upset about that, no, that's what he said. But that's what he said.
You're lying. No, yes, I heard him. That's not what he said. He was talking very bad about Mexicans.
These protesters say there are many groups that have problems with Howard Stern, but they're not willing to protest. But they're also resigned to the fact that this protest and others will not get the shock jock off the air.
And what gets me with this is this was in 1995, not too long ago. These people are still alive and they don't find an issue with this. So this begs me to think, when they say that a lot of issues of the past are dead and no longer exist, a lot of these things happened in the 90s. I was just a little girl, and a lot of these people were not that old. They were like in their 30s and 40s when this happened. They're still alive and kicking it, and they raised children with their ideologies. So how can this be dead? It hasn't even been 100 years. So I always tell people, just watch your back. Just, you know, never be too optimistic. I'm not telling anyone to be bitter in this world. Of course, have joy and, you know, live your life, but understand that it's not sweet out here and nothing has really changed. It may have a facade of change. Things are just kept a little bit more quiet because of backlash. 2 weeks after Selena died, on April 12, 1995, George W. Bush, who was governor of Texas at the time, made her birthday, April 16th, a holiday in the state. He said Selena was the essence of South Texas culture. Some white Americans in Texas wrote to the editor of the Brazo Sport Facts in April and May asking what the big deal was about Selena dying. Some were upset that Selena Day happened on Easter. Others said Easter is more important than Selena Day, and said that people should let Selena rest in peace and move on with their lives. Do you see what I mean? This was in 1995. They weren't canceling Easter. They weren't saying instead of celebrating Easter, which is not, let's just say that has nothing to do with the Bible. If you look at your history, they weren't canceling Easter. They're just making it also her day for those who want to celebrate her life and legacy. And they were upset by that. But someone commented and said they would have never done this to Elvis Presley, and they would have never done this to John Lennon, but it was okay to do it to a minority group that didn't have much respect during that era. Mexican Americans in Texas were outraged and they wrote to newspapers in a very loud voice. Some people said that other people were too hard on Selena and they didn't understand what the problem was, that she passed away, and it seemed like people just didn't want to give their well wishes. People of power just didn't want to give their well wishes and let it go. They used it as a way to just mock her and mock a whole community. After Selena died, her name was known by everyone in the United States and Mexico, and she became a part of American pop culture. She became more famous in death than when she was alive. She's popular now because they saw that with her face on it, talking about the death, it was selling. There was a magazine company actually that did an article on her, and all of their magazines was sold out. They were so shocked, so they kept doing stories on her, and you know, it became a cash grab now. So a lot of these people didn't care for her, didn't like her, didn't know her, were disrespectful to her. But when they saw that, hey, there's a whole group out there that we could profit off of her death that loved her. So let's make movies on her, let's sell merch, let's make stories. Then it became this whole big deal, okay? So the love was not real. After her death, her popularity among the Hispanic population was compared to those of Marilyn Monroe and Madonna in Anglo-American culture. Selena was one of the most popular Latina singers of the 1990s. According to author Carlotta Caulfield, Selena's popularity was drawn in by the LGBT community and minority groups in the United States. After she died, Tejano music lost a lot of popularity and hasn't gotten it back yet, which is sad. I do want it to have a resurgence. In an interview with Biography in 2007, John Leonard from Billboard said that when Selena died, the Tejano market died with her. This is so sad, but I have a feeling that it won't be like that for too long, and many people will bring that style of music back. If you watch until the end, put a purple and black heart in the comments for Selena. Those were her favorite colors. Comment below your thoughts and who else would you guys like to see a video from. Share this video, thumbs up if you liked it, support it by thumbsing up. Comment below who else would you guys like to see. If you like the music you're listening to in the background, the link is in the description. Support my brother. Until next time.